A brief post on the social media platform X appeared and vanished within hours, but it was enough to send shockwaves through Hollywood. The status update didn't tag any real names, yet fans quickly recognized the familiar writing style of Sam Elliott, the man the world once dubbed Hollywood's last cowboy. In that short post, he flatly listed 8 names he would never forgive faces who were once tied to the cowboy persona alongside him, but who are now seen as having betrayed the soul of the American West. Some had gone on TV to publicly push back against his criticism, some used the cowboy icon for quick profit, and one even dared to drag Sam's name into a noisy political argument. Now, the question everyone wants answered is, who are those 8 people? Sam Elliott called out, and who among them is the one who angered him to the point of no return? One Clint Eastwood, the cowboy hero whose words divided America. In Hollywood's cowboy circles, they used to say, if Sam Elliott is the soul of the West, then Clint Eastwood is the last shot fired. But there was no mutual respect between them. Sam always kept quiet, rarely talking about others, but when it came to Eastwood, he never hid his discomfort. Everything became clear in the summer of 2012 in Tampa, Florida, during the Republican National Convention. Clint Eastwood, then 82, was invited to speak before millions watching live on television. No one knew what he would do until he pulled an empty chair onto the stage and started talking to it, addressing the chair as Invisible President Obama. The audience was half amused, half confused. A few spectators stood up to applaud, but most viewers at home could only exclaim, "What is going on?" Within 24 hours, thousands of memes spread across Twitter and Facebook with the hashtag "What Eastwooding people were taking pictures of themselves talking to empty chairs, mocking the strangest speech in American political history." The New York Times called it the most unforgettable yet forgettable event of the year. CNN journalist Anderson Cooper quipped, "This wasn't a speech, this was an unscripted audition." And critic Roger Ebert wrote bluntly on Twitter, "It's sad to watch a legend turn himself into a public joke." At the time, Sam Elliott was in Texas shooting a commercial for Dodge Ram. A crew member recalled that he watched it live on TV, then sat in silence for a long time before shaking his head. Clint forgot who he is. For Sam, a true Western man doesn't use the cowboy image to endorse politics, and certainly doesn't turn it into a stage performance. He saw the speech as a betrayal of the image of the silent, honest man the world once loved. A few months later, Eastwood told the Carmel Pinecone that he regretted nothing, that people are too sensitive. But what angered Sam more than the speech was that attitude, a cold confidence mixed with a touch of arrogance, just like the character Harry Callahan that Eastwood once played. Sam told a close friend, "That's not the Clint I respected anymore. Now it's just an old man who thinks he is America." The difference between them became clearer as Eastwood continued to direct controversial films like American Sniper 2014 and The Mule 2018, where he maintained the image of the tough white man, often saying things that polarized the audience. Some critics felt he celebrated toxic masculinity, while conservatives praised him for daring to speak the truth. Sam never spoke out publicly, but those close to him knew that just hearing Eastwood's name would turn his face cold. For Sam, Clint was the clearest example of how an icon can lose his soul when power and ego become greater than the love for cinema. Clint never directly responded, but in a 2016 Esquire interview, he dropped a line that made people suspect he was subtly referring to Sam. "We're living in a pussy generation. Everybody's afraid to speak the truth." The quote spread quickly, igniting a social media debate. But for Sam Elliott, it only confirmed his belief that Clint Eastwood had become the very thing he hated most, a man who was once a legend but now believed he could do no wrong. After that speech, Clint's cowboy hero image was never the same. Sam knew it, but instead of being pleased, he just felt empty. Amidst that disappointment, another name caused him no less torment: Robert Redford, a man he once respected, who gradually became the symbol of hypocrisy fostered by Hollywood. But Robert Redford, the symbol of virtue in luxurious Hollywood that Sam deemed fake. Robert Redford was the model that all of Hollywood bowed to: handsome, intelligent, devoted to environmentalism, and a champion of independent art. But in Sam Elliott's eyes, that glamorous facade was what bothered him the most. Sam once told a close friend in Malibu privately, "Redford lives like a prince but talks like a saint." In 1981, Redford founded the Sundance Film Festival in Utah, aiming to support young directors and independent films. Initially, it was a beautiful dream where the little guys got a chance to be heard. But by the 2000s, everything changed. Sundance became an expensive affair filled with major studios, movie stars, and multi-million-dollar advertising deals. Many indie directors complained that the festival no longer had room for real filmmakers making real films. In the Los Angeles Times, critic Kenneth Turan once wrote, "Sundance has turned into the luxury version of the Hollywood it was created to oppose." For Sam, it was deeply ironic the man who created a place to protect the authentic inadvertently turned it into the fake. A crew member from the show The Ranch recalled Sam once saying bitterly, "Go to Park City during Sundance season, and all you smell is Chanel perfume and Tesla exhaust, not the road dust and shaky cameras of an independent filmmaker." It wasn't just the festival. Redford's personal life also had its share of controversy. The Daily Mail once revealed that he owned at least 4 high-end properties, including a mansion worth over $7 million in Napa Valley, California, and a 700-acre estate in Santa Fe. Despite this, he often appeared on television advocating for green living, energy saving, and fighting climate change. This contradiction sparked public outcry. In 2019, an editorial in the Washington Examiner called him a Hollywood elite hypocrite, an elitist preaching morality to the world while living like royalty. Sam Elliott, who inherently disliked the speaking in the name of morality style, saw it as the final straw. He believed Redford represented something Hollywood created to soothe its own conscience, the image of the decent artist, yet totally detached from reality. During a 2020 interview in Santa Monica, when a reporter asked his opinion on the Artists for the Environment movement, Sam just smiled. "If they really believed in it, they'd be driving a pickup truck like me, not a private jet." Of course, Redford never reacted harshly. He only vaguely remarked on a PBS talk show that people often hate what they don't understand. But those close to Sam said his hatred wasn't born from jealousy, but from disappointment. He once viewed Redford as an icon of virtue and simplicity, only to realize he was no different from the rest of Hollywood, just better at talking the talk. There was no direct conflict between the two, but they avoided each other at many events. Once at a post-Oscar party in Beverly Hills in 2017, Sam walked in, saw Redford talking to Jane Fonda, and immediately turned away without a word. A producer who witnessed it recounted, "He wasn't angry, just cold, like he didn't want to breathe the same air as that person." Redford continued to be a beloved face in social campaigns, but to Sam Elliott, he was no longer an artist. He was a brand that knew how to smile at the right time. That disillusionment for Sam was even more painful than the disdain he held for Clint Eastwood, because Clint betrayed through actions while Redford betrayed through words. After all that, Sam drew only one conclusion in Hollywood: There are two types of people: those who talk too much and those who live too